All right, good morning. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah? All right, let's get some here we go. Let's get some energy going in here and a little bit of excitement. Who's got something exciting to share? Yes. All right, where are you going? Panama. Okay, great. That is awesome. Okay, awesome. Anybody else? Anything exciting? Your first listing. All right, congratulations. Where did it come from?
My sphere.
Oh, your sphere. Imagine that, right? Okay, great. Somebody else, something exciting.
I'm going on a trip.
Where are you going?
Hawaii.
Hawaii. All right. That sounds exciting. That's where Namesh is right now. Don't tell anybody. He's in Hawaii. Anybody else got something exciting? Yes.
Y'all's lunch spots are canceled and I'm here.
All right. We appreciate you. We're going to have lunch today. That's awesome. Who else? I saw a hand somewhere else. Did I miss one? Anybody? Going once? You got something exciting to share?
I have a listing in Brookshire.
All right. Listing. We like those listings. Keep them coming. Anyone else? Going once, going twice, moving on. All right, great. We got some classes coming up. We are an education and training company, right? Here's some exciting classes to kind of keep up. We have a command boot camp. Anybody love boot camps? It's not a bad word. Boot camps are good. It gets us moving in the right direction along the way. And this one is on Saturday. Who's the instructor? Norman is the instructor, and he's going to make you do command, and then you're going to go for a bike ride in the afternoon? No.
I'm giving up my bike ride to people.
Oh, he's giving it. It's too hot anyway, so you can't go on a bike ride. So from 9 to 3 this Saturday, you can jump in and take it. Now, boot camp means you're going to be producing things, getting into it, playing into the system. So you're not just sitting there. You'll actually get a return because you're going to be working on it. Okay, great. Is that how they scan? That way he knows you're there. You guys know how to work one of these? Our TV's still not working?
I had to turn it
Oh,
on.
geez. Okay. All right, if you need to scan it, you have to get it on one of these two TVs. Oh, we got Mega Agent Camp. Mega Agent Camp is the beauty of it is it's right here in Austin, meaning it's a drive. Most people fly around the country. It is a 2-day event. We have a lot of fun in Austin. Dale, you're going? Okay, Dale, make sure we have a good time in Austin. AmCamp will. But here it is. You can watch it digitally or you can show up in person. I recommend doing it in person. It is the 23rd and 24th. It's good and cool in Austin that time of year. So don't miss that opportunity. Carpool, if you need to spend the night, look at it. You can go around, but grab your ticket because they will go up. I'd highly encourage you. I got you on there. I don't know why. Did you have something to say? She does not. Okay. Krista, do you have something smart to say?
I do.
Awesome.
Okay. Have any of you ever dealt with a lease and your client asks you, can I send money electronically for this? And what has the answer been? Okay, what is the answer today? Yes. Can I share with you a program that we use? We've tested it with agents. It works. It's user-friendly. It's called Deposit Link. It is a third party. It's very secure. They use the same platform behind the scenes, Dwolla and Plaid, that PayPal uses. It's very user-friendly, very easy. Everyone has dual-factor authentication. They log in. You can put in a request to send an invitation to your client for bank info. It processes it ACH overnight into the office's bank account. Very, very simple. Next slide, please. The cost is $10 to your client. So the amount of time and cost it may take them to get a cashier's check or a money order compared to this, it's not going to be that much more expensive. It is cheaper than doing a wire transfer, I'll tell you that. They can also send the security deposit to the landlord through this system. So there is a way that you could put in an invitation to go to the other agent, even if you're on the tenant side, to have their client put in their information. So it's very user friendly. Give me the next slide, please. This is just an example of the entry screen. I wanted to give you a little taste. You go in. I have to set you up as a user. So if you are interested, just email me with a good email address and cell phone number for you. I'll put you in, activate you. Then you start a deal and you just put in the office, if you're the listing agent, the tenant agent, landlord's name, property address. I have the bottom of the screen cut off, but it's just fill in the blank, very, very easy. Sends the request through. As soon as they start putting money through, it takes 1, maybe 2 days to get everything processed. But I've had a lot of good feedback on it, and then it just shows up in the account, we process it. Do you like that? Is that value to you guys? Yes. Awesome. Awesome. I like to hear that. Okay.
All right, file that away because when you need it, you'll forget. So put it in your notes somewhere because remember, you've got to get you set up on the account, or you go ahead and just get set up. And then when the time comes, it'll show up in your world.
And there are training resources on the website with user guides and videos. So it's very user friendly.
Okay, awesome.
Just email me. klrw25@kw.com. If you don't remember, just ask the front desk or come see me. I'll get you set up.
Okay. Nikki, did you have anything? You did not. Okay, great. All right, anything else? You're going right to me. All right, the name of your the meeting that we tagged today is How You Think Matters. How you think matters. And we're all programmed a certain way. So this is going to be a little bit on thinking and the way we go about it. And I hope you're intentional. Because if you went, yeah, I thought about it once, it's not enough because this is a daily, this is a weekly time when you think about it. And so I just went to some of my favorite books. Shift book. This book is more appropriate for right now than ever before in the tactics, by the way. I also love this book. It's called Millionaire Real Estate Agent. You're saying I have to like him because I'm the team leader and I'm an owner of market centers? Not really. And then the investor. So here's what Gary says in some of these books. I'm just going to read it to you. It says, how you think matters. This is on page 12. In fact, it matters a lot. So before we can share with you these fundamental truths about money, investing in real estate, we need to make sure you agree on 2 important parts. Number 1 is building financial wealth through real estate is possible. And number 2 is building financial wealth through real estate is possible for you. Fundamental beliefs. Because if you don't believe that, this industry is going to eat you out and spit you out really fast. So do you spend time? So he says in here, this first part of this book is devoted to your thinking. It'll confront some of your myths about money, real estate, and yourself. Remember, anyone can do it. Not everyone will. The only question is, will you? And that's pretty powerful. We could spend the whole time and just marinate and think on that all and just go a moment of silence and journal on that. But let's keep going. Okay. This is in MREA book. Oh, he talks about thinking again, right? It says here, how you think matters, and how you think in the beginning really matters. And we're all in the beginning of something in our stage of life. Even if you've been in this industry for 20 years, 40 years, right? We're all in the process. And so Gary tells a story, right? And how he stood up, he was just one, he had 2 local offices in Austin. And he said he had plans and what he thought. So he began answering the office phone as a national office. He actually called it Keller Williams International. And people laughed at him because he had 2 offices in Austin. But how he thought about it and what he was building really matters. And so the way he answered the phone was intentional. He goes, I know this might sound brazen. Nikki, you know what the word brazen means? We have fun with Nikki, by the way. Brazen is bold. It's even more than bold. It's really out there. It almost sounds like you're bold and brazen the way that you think and you go about it. You know, that sounds brazen, but it was amazing how simple this act created positive movement, enthusiasm, and credibility for my long-term goals. There's no question this contributed to our success. How you think matters. How you think in the beginning matters. How you do simple things, and as simple as answering the phone, or what you call your business, your group, your team, right? It's kind of like going, you are a group and a team, and you might go, well, it's just me. No, there's all to you, and how you think about it and the way that you vision, right, really matters as well. This is a great book. Tactic number 1 in the Shift book. Anybody know what tactic number 1 is? Get real, get right in your head. Our market is changing. We need to be prepared for the market that we're heading into, right? So we got to get real about some things along the way. And it says in here, this is a quote, not from Gary. It says, decide what your priorities are and how much time you'll spend. If you don't, someone else will. You can't control the market, but you can control the outlook and your response to the market. I'm just saying this. If I sound like I'm preaching and passionate, I'm really just saying it for myself, and you guys are along for the ride. Okay. So you cannot control the market. You cannot control interest rates, right, Dale? Okay. I was making sure that you had any control over it. You cannot control the price of gas. You cannot control the leaders that we have in our country. We cannot control the decisions that are made and the stuff that people put on social media, right? And yet we can respond to it. Not on social media, please don't respond to it. But we can respond how our attitude and the way that we interact, right? I had a football coach that had this on the locker room. I'll never forget it to this day. It's like the power of coaches. He said, attitudes are contagious. Is yours worth catching? Let me back. Attitudes are contagious. Is yours worth? And then right next to it, he also said, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Everything that you want, you're going to have to go out and work for it. All right, what did you hear out of that so far? That was a lot of preaching by me, and I'm not a preacher. Maybe in the next life I will be. What, Sharon, what do you hear out of that? You nodded your head. What do you hear? Oh, okay. But when you hear those things and you read those books, you've read them before and you hear it, what goes through your mind? I'm putting you on the spot. Yeah, right.
Whether it's a transaction, a relationship, family, friends, your attitude takes you farther.
Yeah.
Don't realize that, but enter a room or enter anywhere, your attitude and the way you come across makes a big difference.
Yeah.
The energy you let off.
Yeah. So in our industry, we're taught to be cooperative, and yet we got to be competitive. So the standard is cooperative and competitive at the same time. I mean, anybody in here want to win? I mean, you really want to win? I mean, I want to win, and yet I want to do it in a way that is cooperative along the way. But at the same time is, I want to kick my competitor's butt. But I can do it in a way that's the standard. It's a way to think about it, right? So the challenge for you is, do you work from a set of core beliefs and value? And a lot of it is so you can keep your mindset in your heart, right? In scripture, it says, right? I'm a Christian faith. It says, guard your heart because it's the wellspring of life. So what we consume and put in has a lot to do with the way that we think. And our programming, and where did our programming come from? Probably the address that you grew up at, parents, lack of supportive community, where you grew up is really inside of you. And there's just some things that you were told that is absolutely a myth and it's a limiting belief and is not true. And we have to be so intentional about pouring good things into us when we focus about it. And I'm telling you, it's going to be needed more than ever before. And the rest of this year, I don't know about you, but there's a lot of stuff that's being thrown at us. And we're heading into a market. So we have to make sure, can't win with others until we win with ourselves. Can't win with others until we win with ourselves, right? So we have this great thing. Let me move this along. This, I'm stealing this from 6 Personal Perspectives. It's a class that we teach and it's in our curriculum. You can find it, but one of my favorite quotes, it says, what is it that differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't seem to accomplish as much? I'll open that up to you. What separates them? What differentiates those the highest achieved at the highest level and those who seem to not accomplish it much? What's the difference? Yes. So I hear that is following proven models and systems and just running the play. Okay, good. That is actually high in the level. What else? Mindset. What about it?
You can have a positive mindset, but or a negative attitude, and your mindset's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Mindset matters. What else? What separates the high performers? Yes. Action. What do you mean by that? Actually doing something. Yeah. Like, you know what the best script is for calling? I got one word for you. You guys can write it down. The greatest script of all time. Hello. That's right, Brandon. It's taking action. Go pick up the phone. Just say hello. By the way, how are you doing? It's action. Let's not overcomplicate this. What else? What else separates high achievers from those who don't accomplish as much or much of anything? There's some people that are busy, but they don't get anything done. Do you know? I'm not looking at anyone, by the way. Do you know anybody like that? They're busy all day and you're like, but what did you do? What did you, and I've had days like that too. I was busy and you look back and you go, well, what did I accomplish? Where did I move the needle? What separates people? And do you study this? Go ahead.
Consistency.
Consistency. What do you mean by consistency?
Keeping up with what you need to do on a daily basis and repeat it. Even if you're failing one day, you try again the next.
That's it, right? It's the consistency that we show up with, and we do it time and right. It's time on task will win every time. And time on task will beat talent every time, especially when talent is not on task. It's the consistency show up. And Sapane, it's what? Is it boring sometimes?
Oh, yes.
Yes, it's boring and nobody wants to get up early in the morning to start their routine, but we know that's how high functioning people and they accomplish.
Even Gary Keller says that that's boring.
Yeah, he'll tell you it's boring. Yeah. Repetitious boredom is what he calls success. And yet it is fun though, depositing the checks that he probably receives and you go to the banks and then taking the trips that we desire, right? Or being present at other times because we accomplished our goals. Okay, good stuff. Anybody else? What differentiates high achievers and those who don't accomplish a lot? A plan.
Following the schedule.
Following a schedule. Commitment. Through all things, right? To see it all the way through. People want a lot, but they're not committed to it. Learning and adapted, being learning based, and knowing we don't know it all and things are going to change. Yes. Say that one more in. Creative. Yeah, creativity. Absolutely. Okay. 6 Personal Perspectives goes into these type things. These are my favorite things. I could read these every day and it would give me focus. But here's what we believe in high achievers. You guys said a lot of these. Number 1 is I'm going to nail it. Is self-mastery, right? I'm going to master this. So my son, Gary Keller, does Quantum Leap every summer for people that are ages 18 must have graduated high school to 25. So I sent one of them there. I'll send all my kids there. I might even send them multiple times. I know somebody else, you said DJ there, they just spend there. And I said, hey, what did you learn? He loved it, by the way. He loved it. Kids love what he was talking. He was brazen in the way that he talked too, by the way. He hasn't changed. And I said, well, he goes, I learned all sorts of stuff. I got a notebook full. And I said, give me one thing. And Gary said, and Warren Buffett says this, and successful, they go, you get really good and master one skill. Do not try to be a jack of all trades. Nail one skill and get really good about it, and you will succeed at a high level. And you want to do it in something that if you're going to do it, you enjoy too. So if you're going, you know what? If I was the best negotiator in real estate deals, and I got to be the best, that not just the best that you can do, the best that's ever been done, and you were going to nail being the greatest negotiator in real estate has ever seen, what would your world look like? Would you get referrals? Yeah. Oh my gosh, you got to go work with Abish. He's the greatest. He got us the best deal. He fought for us, and he just got a gift for it. You get more. It's actually lead generating, by the way, being the best negotiator. But what else would you do if you wanted to be the best negotiator to ever do? What would you do? Yeah, you would go study. And who would you study? Yeah, the best negotiator. Would it be limited to real estate? No, we'd probably get out of real estate and we'd go study other people who do it at a high level. You can say whatever you want about Donald Trump, but he became president of the United States because he was really good at negotiating. Yes, he is a negotiator. It's a skill that he mastered. Yeah. Never Split the Difference is a great book. That's just, yeah, okay. So I'm going to nail this, or you could say I'm going to be the best listing agent that's ever, right, it's ever been. Are you going to nail that? Or some people are like, there's an agent I know in San Diego. She is fantastic on lead generating. She loves to get on the phones and she loves to talk to people. And so, and when you're in San Diego County, you're listing properties that are what? Millions of dollars. And so she's so good at it and she's mastering it. When she gets a deal, what does she do lots of times? She goes and partners with the top listing agent and she goes, why don't we co-list this together? You're really good at this. I'm not worried about the percentage because I can go lead generate because I'm really good at that. And so she gets deals and she lists with the top person and they split it 50-50. Remember, she's not worried about percentages. She can go focus on it. And how do you think she sleeps at night? Really good, because she's got somebody else helping them that's really good at the listing because she knows in perspective. I love that thought process. Do you think that way when we want to nail something? Number two, let's just keep going. Committed to the 80-20 principle. This is science, by the way. Who can explain the 80-20 principle to me? How many of you have never heard of the 80-20 principle? Well, doggone it, we should teach this better in our market center. I'll own that. What's the 80-20? Yeah, it's a law, right? And where it speaks in here is 20% of your efforts, what you're focused on, is going to give you 80% of the results. 20% of your database is going to give you 80% of your results. 20% of volunteers, Red Day, did 80% of the work, right? 20% of church members fund 80% of the church. It's just a rule and a law, right? And actually, we actually see it. It actually more than it's even sometimes we see it 10% to 90. But so understanding that in our business and the way that we think is, are we focused on the big rocks and we're making sure that we put them? The greatest thing you can do if you want an illustration is go Google the rocks, pebbles in the sand and watch that put into a jar. Because if we put the little stuff in first, Or we do the pebbles, it won't leave room and you can't fit it all in. But if you hit the big rocks and you do them first and you write them down in a plan, it comes together so beautifully. Man, that's a simple concept. Anybody struggle with that? Okay, just me. I'm on the journey. But yeah, it's just got to get the big things. And if it is, I got to make my 5 phone calls today. Sometimes it's just 5, by the way. We teach 20. We say 20 conversations every day, right? Nothing else would matter and your business would go. When you go on a vacation, you're going, who's got Hawaii, we got Panama, we got other people, is the day before, I don't know about you, but I get some stuff done. When do you pack when you go on a vacation? Yeah, the night. I mean, an hour before I'm going to get ready to go on a plane. Now, some of you already had your back for a week and it's sitting there and you're all ready to go and you add stuff. Anybody else like anybody? We're not shaming you. There's no judgment. Jeez, I might want to wear those clothes. Why would I? Hey, could you bring those shirts to the laundry? I need to get them done. Hopefully they can turn it around and have them done by tomorrow. But the reason I say the vacation is we get the most amount of stuff the day before a vacation because we have to. It's amazing what we can get done. 80-20, great one. The next one is moving from E to P. We're all going to have a ceiling that we're going to hit time and time again in our lives, whatever it is. And the way that we move forward is we become purposeful. And some of you got in this industry because you were an entrepreneur, you're a freedom, you actually had some charisma, people actually just gravitated to you, and you just thought you were all that. And then you start to hit a ceiling. And the way we break through is purposeful, but we follow proven models and system. My favorite statement is to use is, yeah, Chad, but I'm different. I'm going to do it my own way. And what typically happens? Yeah, they don't. You can do it your own way once you've broken through, but then you'll just hit another ceiling. Like if it's building a team, there's a very proven model and system on the way that we grow. We know it. I'm telling you, once a month, somebody will come into me and they're an agent and they'll go, I'm going to partner with another agent. I'm like, you can, but that's not following a proven model and system. And I sit here long enough, I know it's not going to work. It could though, right? And yet there's a way that we go about this if we're going to build a team. It's a proven model and system. We know success, what it leads to. Next one, step 4, being learning based, the foundation of your action plan that Avish hit on. I'm willing to be taught and I'm always pursuing learning. I appreciate to hear the fact that tells you one is yeah, it's kind of like I've taken bold, or I showed up to the team meeting, or Chad says the same thing over and over again. He's just a broken record. I am, by the way, because I'm not that smart. And I know this is the path to success and living a big life, right? But it's the foundation. May you be, this is my desire. May I be on my deathbed looking to get better and to learn something new. That's my desire. That I will learn and want to get better and think of ways to do things better and more efficient my whole life. That's what I desire for my children. Right? It's the statement of bold. Sharon, how many times you taken bold? 21 times in bold. She must not be very smart if she had to take it 21 times. No, I think highly of her. I wouldn't do that. But that's how some of us think, by the way. And I'm saying is she's a different person each time. She knows she needs to work on herself. There's something she learns, right? At this point, she probably could teach it. But even people who teach bold, take bold, by the way, right? It's this whole process. And it's not a commercial for bold. Whatever your class is, Mega Agent Camp. Gary Keller is going to lead out top people and he's going to interview them and he's going to keep going back to, he's going to bring the shift book. He'll teach us tactics, but we'll just hear real life examples of how people are learning through it. But if I was invited, I always call and I invite Remax people over the years and they're going, no, I don't want to go to that. And I'm like, why not? I know, I'm just curious. Why not? If you, Dave Liniger is the founder of Remax. If you called me and said, Dave Liniger is putting on a 2-day thing and I could be a guest, this is back when he taught, he's not active anymore. I'd be in the front row. I'll learn from somebody else. I want to do this the best that I can. I study my competitors and look at it. But may that be your desire to always be learning based. And when you're struggling the most, I'll pick on Sharon today. I don't know why it's pick on Sharon Day, but it just is, right? Sharon, you went through a season where you really struggled in this industry, right? And in fact, you had to go get another job. Yes. And where did you go work?
Actually, I opened up H&R Block.
H&R Block. And yet during that season of time when you were struggling, family reunion came up and you said what?
That I wasn't going.
No, you said I have to what?
Oh, I have to work.
I have to get there. No, you didn't.
I don't remember all that.
Oh gosh. You remember how people, I watch other people's journey, and it was said as, man, you used to tell the story, man, she's getting old and forgetting things. I talked to her like she is my sister. You guys know that, right? So she said is, I have to figure out how to get there because I got to be in that environment.
Right, okay. But that was family, you know.
It could have been mega agent camp.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
why I was
remember.
curious.
She
Okay.
goes, I'm going to find a way how to get there because I have to be in that environment if I'm going to succeed in this business. We go through seasons of life. Most people, when you're struggling, is when you just stay away, is when you got to get in the environment just to keep yourself productive and the energy and keep flowing. Remember, I'm on this journey with you. I'm preaching this to myself, not to you. Number 5 is remove your limiting beliefs. Unlimit your thinking, your saying. Most of us is being held back by the way that we think and the conversations you have in your head. You're having them right now. You're judging me, by the way, and you're going off and your voices are going off in your head. Could be good, could be bad. I know over time, somebody going, this dude's whacked, right? And it doesn't bother me at this point. It doesn't mean I care about you, but I don't have enough time to get wrapped up into that, right? My job is to think at a high level, and I have beliefs. I have great things that my father taught me. I have other things. How about raising kids? And all of a sudden you do something and you're like, man, all the things I said I wouldn't do as a father that my dad did to me just shows up automatically. That's the programming, by the way. And then I go, man, I'm so much. My relationship with my dad grew over time, and especially grew when I had kids. Now I know why he lost his crap, because he had to deal with me, right? We come appreciation, but so this programming and stuff that we have, the way about money, the way we view about work, right? The way we think of a job and a career and relationships. Some things were modeled maybe really good, and there's some other things that were just modeled and taught to you, and it's still inside you, right? We go to therapy for this, right? Remember, my statement is everybody's what? We're all jacked up, by the way. We all got these things that are running into us. My kids are going to be jacked up too because of the way that I fathered. And yes, yeah. Oh, huh? Yeah, and your client, well, they're more confused. People are more confused than ever before because there's so much information. How many times are you getting asked, how's the market? And then you ask them, I'm curious, what's your perception on it? Oh my gosh, you cannot believe it, right? I mean, so we show up to them and we have to educate, we have to simplify, we got to move it in, but just know too that, right? They're working through programming and issues, and it's not about you, it's about them. And the more that we make it about it and we help them through that processing. I think of a single investment property that I had that somebody asked me about it. And I said, oh yeah, I own a property. Andy and I own a property over there. We were going to sell it, but we decided to rent it. And it was actually a family member that we can help out, right? And his first question was, how much equity did you grow over these last few years? One single story little house. And how much equity do you think would it grow? Throw out a number. We've owned it for 5 years, but over the last couple of years, we've been benefited. It was 150,000. It was 150,000. Just boom like that, right? By owning real estate. We all know this. So what was, what went through my head? Yeah, why didn't I own 10 of those? Why didn't I own 10 of those? Because of my thinking. I'm not being disciplined in my approach and following these. I'm on the journey, right? I should own 10 of those. So if I own 10 of them, what happened to my net worth? Well, yeah, you'd be worth over $1 million just on that bucket alone. And it's not that hard to get these properties, by the way. Just don't own enough of them. So if you own enough, great. Right, Sharon? I mean, investment is just a way to think about it and then just following a plan and a discipline. And when's the best time to buy a house? Yeah, we could beat ourselves up and go, I should go 10 of them. Or you can go, well, go buy some more, stupid. This is me talking to myself. So take advantage of it. We're going to have some great opportunities along the way, but the way you think about it matters. We have a marker here. Okay, I'll keep going. How you think, Matt? And the last is being accountable. Being accountable. And it's mine, I own it. Accountability is just awareness. If you were on, hey, I told the whole group that I wanted to lose 50 pounds, right? You just say, Chad, you don't have 50 pounds to lose. I appreciate that, right? What would be the best accountability ever? If I was on this journey to lose 50 pounds. But yeah, I could have the discipline, but I'm asking about accountability because you can have reasons, you can have results. What would be the best accountability system?
Someone who also.
Oh, how about we just do that? This is the greatest one, right? Is we put a scale in the team meeting and we have it broadcasted, right? Online, or close to, there's high 40s, almost 50 there. And we just step on the weight every week, right? And then you look at it and you just share it with everybody. Would that be the greatest accountability? And it's just awareness. And the days that you ate too much and went to Perry's and went drinking and had a good time, you would what? You wouldn't want to come to the office, but the day you were disciplined and you worked out and you ate right and you knew you're on there, you would just come running up here and jump on it and everybody would applaud. And the opposite is we need to show up when the hard days are there. But that's all a coach is. That's all an accountability partner is an awareness to where you are and saying, okay, what's our plan to get better? What can you do? And we fall short lots of times. Okay, going back to your thinking process. Gary Keller talks about this, and I use this as an illustration. This is my favorite. And this is what I would draw out, prettier than me, by the way. But this is how real estate flows and the value of real estate. Stock market would be the same thing over time too. We ride these many seasons, right, of up and down. Can be value, can be our market, can be seasonal changes, but over time we understand that this is going to grow, right? Best way to build wealth is through real estate. Fact. Most people think, and quite frankly, some of you in this room think it's like this in an ebb and flow that we work with. And you go, well, that's kind of harsh to say that I think this way. All I would have to do is look at your net worth over the last 5 years. And if it hasn't gone up, we need to, you fundamentally still think this way. So here's the question to you is, if you know what you know now, and we went back to February, right before the pandemic, what was that, February what? 2020, I don't remember. Family reunion, we were in Dallas and I was laughing at somebody, I think it was Soppin was on there. I said, I think they're going to cancel it. I'm like, why would they cancel it? Well, there's this virus that's going around. So if you could go back and talk to yourself and you said, you need to do these things, what would you have told yourself to do? Stop it.
Double down,
Right. We've already heard. What would you have done?
double down.
Double down on what?
Every activity you do.
Yeah, on your lead generating, because you knew we're about ready to experience one of the greatest real estate markets and opportunity. What else would you have done? You could be specific.
Eliminate debt, all unnecessary.
Okay, yeah. What would you invest it in?
People,
And what? Videos, would have invested in videos. Might have bought some stock in Zoom, by the way. Probably would have bought some. You'd have figured out how to purchase something in real estate. What else would you have done? Kathy, if you know what you know now, what would you have done differently? Right before the pandemic, if you knew what you know now, what would you go back and tell yourself to do and take advantage of it? Don't give me that goof. Huh? Invested in Amazon?
Stocks and pharmaceuticals.
DoorDash. Yeah. Yeah, I challenge you to that because some of that was you would invest in specific companies. You would invest. Anybody would love to have bought a home then? Or 2 or 3? Maybe you wouldn't. That's okay. I would. Yeah, you would have bought 5 more homes. The reason is we're about ready to head into a different market. What are you telling yourself today? And actually what you were telling yourself then before, there's really always solid information, right? You might have missed the Zoom and the Amazon and the market, whatever. But what are you telling yourself? What do you need to do now to prepare for this next shift? Because it's going to be an opportunity. That's going to be interesting in the Houston market. Don't look at the national news, right? We're inside. I just read today that maybe it was Exxon or Chevron is shutting down things in California and they're relocating and paying them all move to, Texas. I mean, we are in an energy market, by the way. They're still going to be building stuff. There's still going to be opportunity. We're still going to grow. But man, there's some ways to think about it. There's also going to be some opportunities. And if opportunities are not here, then we can go across, find somebody else. We're going to need money to do it, by the way. Because an opportunity just doesn't go away. It goes what? Goes to somebody else. So being really intentional about it. Are you excited that the market we're in and where we're heading? Because how you think matters and your attitude is contagious. The people are excited about it. I want to get around them. And I know who the people are to get excited. Kathy, are you excited? Let me tell you that what we're moving into, we were a speed-based and now we're moving into a skill-based. So I was visiting an agents in San Diego and I visit with here and I'm like, thank goodness I'm ready for this market. Because the skill-based, the people that have the conversation. I was walking out with Lyle and Lyle was having a quick little investment conversation with him, smart dude. And he just real quickly was telling me about numbers and running and an investor and buying a duplex and what it was. And he articulated the numbers and they go, what's a good deal? He said, well, that depends on what kind of return that you want. And I went, that conversation there, maybe 10% of the agents could have that conversation. My question to you is, are you on that path to be in that 10% to have those high level conversations? Are you going to nail it and work at a high level? Okay. Thoughts, ahas? Nothing? That wasn't any good. Don't talk like that again, Chad. It's okay. You're ready for what? The what? Oh, she's waiting for we're brother and sister, so that's how we get along. She's ready for me to pass around the hat. Well, we should pass it around so we all can do our next investment opportunity together, right? We can go buy something. That should be our tithing along the journey. Any other thoughts when you hear this? Yes, sir.
Young, it says, until we make the unconscious conscious, it will rule our lives and we will call it fate.
Okay, say it one more time.
Until we make the unconscious conscious, it will run our lives and we will call it fate.
Wow, that's pretty good. Who said that?
Carl Jung.
Oh, that's good. Anybody heard that before?
That's 2 B's.
Yeah. Nikki, could you translate that for us? Not just messing with Nikki. Italian, yes. Okay. Yes, sir.
So success is measured not on wins, is when you fall and get up.
Yeah.
That's what your success is measured.
Well, yeah, and we're all gonna fall, right?
So
I hope you're making a lot of mistakes.
So what I meant by that is at this time right now, everything is transitioning like from the pandemic it put everybody on an equal ground to where like some people like put you in that position of where, okay, you got to make those transitions
Yep.
for success.
And usually the transition is just fun. All this is fundamental. You've heard this before. Unfortunately, we don't teach this in American schools, by the way, right? We just don't. My kids don't hear this. So we have to be intentional. And when I first heard this, I took Quantum Leap, 6 personal perspectives. I'm like, man, that's really solid stuff. But there's nothing on here that you just go, that was just, but do you embrace it? Do you live it? Does it become a part of you? Are you conscious of where you're heading, right? Because sometimes we just act in a certain way because we've been programmed to do something. We're told to go to school. We're told to go to college because that's the only way. Oh, by the way, most people are taking what? Debt to go into college. I can go on a rant. It's your choice. You chose to take out a loan and go to college. You're responsible for it. Sorry, that's not, there's an ownership to it. And then we get in debt and then we go get in more debt and we get a job and we live and we call that security. I got to go get a job. So I hear this all the time. I got to go get a secure income and go get a job. I don't know about you, but there's nothing secure about that. I'd rather bet on myself and my own abilities and the way I master things to go forward, being the best listing agent, being the best negotiator that you've ever seen, right? Being the best lead generator, whatever those components are. You don't even have to be all of them. Yeah.
Again, it's not true. Seasoned agents are ones that we're out there getting the payment more, and we're having to learn more about how millenniums work and how things in the media and social media and all that. So it's really harder on us. Again, the people that's in the social media and all the younger people that's in this business, they just need to take a peek and just jump in it and go with it.
Yep.
Because they could go a lot farther if they just let their guard down and quit trying to be perfect and right. And
the skilled agent is where the one that's going to have the most ease. And it's still going to be hard work, by the way. And so is getting a listing and having to sort through 20 offers. Is that work? Unless you have leverage and somebody does it for you, right? And you have to choose and educate and walk through it, or you're working with a buyer. It takes skill still, and it's a little brutal. So some of this is going to be a welcome relief. All right. Well, I'm excited about the opportunity. Don't forget, everyone needs a place to live. That's never going to change, right? And if you need to buy a house and borrow money, there's a cost to it. And what's the cost today to borrow money? How much? 6%. I thought he was going to say 16 or 18, which we've seen. I'm kidding, which we've seen before, by the way. I put that in perspective. If I go and take credit card debt, how many, Dale, I'm just curious, out of 10 people, how many people come into you and get a loan that have credit card debt? 9 out of 10. And what do you see as interest rates on credit cards? Yeah, interesting perspective, huh? Interesting. If I go get a car today, how many of them have a note on a car? Out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10. And what's that rate? Yeah. Kathy? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this thing called seller contributions. I was visiting to another coach, and they're coaching a top listing agent, and a buyer sent over an offer that had seller contributions, and she was so offended. And so the coach goes, "Remind me again when you got into this industry." She goes, 2012. Top person, by the way. And she just never had seen that before, by the way. right? These are stories that I hear. Another one, this is in San Diego, listing agent. She goes, I got 2 offers. One was an investor that threw it out 100,000 less, and one was an offer that it was 100,000 more. And she goes, I kind of felt bad. I said, well, it's not your job. Your fiduciary is to the seller. And so basically that buyer paid in 100,000 because they really didn't have to, because they were what? They're operating in the market and they didn't use their negotiating and skills. So they'd gotten beat out in offers and they just threw in 100,000. Maybe it was the right decision. I don't know. So these things we got to take our blinders off and go, okay, what does it look like? Seller contributions, right? Or if you've had a listing before and the seller has to bring a check, their own check to close it, right? You remember those days? What's the most you've seen somebody pay? A seller paying somebody to take their property. 82,000. Anybody beat that? Could you? This just put this in perspective. We got to talk about it. A seller coming and writing a check because they weren't going to default on the loan. They were going to make clear, right? They took responsibility. You got to appreciate somebody like that. And they wrote a check for 82,000 to sell their property. Yes.
What I'd like to say about that is it had been listed.
It had been listed 3 times.
Yeah.
Same agent that overpriced it each and every time. I came in, I had a conversation. I said, look, this is where it should be, but you may not get that. You may get this. And what I told him, he probably would get was really close to what he did.
Yeah.
But I had to prepare him
Right.
for that out-of-pocket expense.
Yeah. So, the synopsis is our seller expectations are going to be, we believe if we price it right, you probably should end up there. We might not see a frenzy of offers coming forward. I don't think our value is going to go down. It might plateau a little bit, by the way. And we're just in a cool spot, by the way. If you want to sell real estate, you can do a really, really big business. And there's people who got in this industry, entered in 2007 and 2008, or some of the top people that you see in Keller Williams. They didn't know any better. Just go to work and lead generate. Okay, that's all I have today. Let's move along to our sponsors. Come on up. Who wants to go first? Jump behind there.
Well, I have nothing today because I was running around and it was a last minute lunch thing that we did today. So I asked Lori to come be a part of this as well. So I have nothing, but you guys are probably needing a break from me anyways. So if you need anything, of course, you know where to find me. We're going to be doing seller net sheets again on Saturday with Norman, and I'm going to provide lunch. So we got a lot going on. Thank you, Dan, for all your support yesterday with our patapp.com net sheet, seller net sheet. So this is Lori
Okay,
Bowman.
great,
Obviously,
great.
you know her, but this is, and I have no fun facts either.
But I may need to help you.
Yes.
So great. Chad started this off right, saying this is a training and education center, correct? So, and he's so true. We have seen so much changes even in home warranty world. So couple of questions. Has anyone had a seller not offer a home warranty this year? Look and see who all raises their hand. They all get to take these keychains
Okay.
to those people.
Who raised their hand?
You raise your hands? Okay, great. Who had a buyer that chose not to get it once the seller did not do it? Anybody have a buyer that chose not to? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so we need to get back into doing that because I want to share a couple things. I don't know if
She needs some more sales.
I do, but I will
Before
take.
you get started,
Yeah.
she's like the longest home warranty. We see home warranty people come and go. How long you been in the
Well,
business?
this almost through my 16th year.
16th
Yeah.
year.
She's the
Yeah.
which
best.
is really unheard of in home warranty companies.
Yeah, I
So
feel like a
one is-
unicorn or
she knows
something.
what she's
Yeah,
talking
so-
about.
so-
And,
Thank you.
ahead.
Yeah. So everybody got a little handout. And here's the reason I'm bringing this up. But yeah, I do like the sales, but I'll tell you what happened just from an education standpoint. So this says right here, over 50% of our customers have a major system breakdown within the first year. And then this number has changed. We spent 219 million last year. So whoever, and that's wholesale dollars worth. But I want to share why we want to get back into making sure the home warranty is offered. You can't help, it's your fiduciary duty, as you said, but they don't have to accept it. That's okay. That's not your deal. You just have to offer it. And here's why. I got two calls in the last couple of weeks. So on Friday, I got a call from a seller calling me. The house closed, inspection report was perfect. The house is in great shape. All of a sudden, they're about to be sued because the air conditioner has failed. And I said, well, it won't, if we don't do pre-existing. She goes, that's okay. I just give me the top of the line coverage right now. So we set that up for her because they were looking at issues. Why the buyer thinks they've been sold a lemon. Okay. So that's what's happened. Then we actually, and this one's a little more scary. It was two agents, and I've heard about this stuff happening years and years and years ago, but the warranty wasn't offered. It wasn't offered. It wasn't told. It wasn't even presented to the buyer as an option, which is important because all you have to do is let them know it's out there. Even a toaster comes with what? A warranty. So we want to make sure at least they know it's here. If they decline coverage, on the back of our brochure, we have an I decline box. Your E&O companies really want you to make sure you're offering this and preferably, hopefully taking it because they found out this number is really old, y'all. So don't quote me on this, but I had a person who came from an E&O background said they had found that after warranties had been introduced in Texas for a while, that it had reduced litigation 30% for agents. That's quite a bit. So we don't want to see it go back up to 30%. So anyway, I think that's all I've got. Y'all, by the way, guess who I'm with? I didn't tell you. Anybody know? Kathy, Dan, yes. First American. There is some confusion. So when you're wondering, just think First American.
All right.
Hello, I'm the longest movers concierge here, right?
Yes.
Even though I live 1 hour away from here, but I love this office. That's why I keep coming. Okay. And I've been working for Reliant for 10 years. I can hook up electricity. We also, for you, I mean, and your clients, we also have the home security that can make you withdraw money. Okay. I mean, besides hooking up electricity for people, I offer extra help. Like yesterday, I have a customer telling me why my bill is so high. And then usually, normally, summertime is higher because 70% the electricity come from the AC, okay? But I look at her account and find out her usage is double. So then immediately I told her there's something wrong with your AC, okay? And then actually she
That is the easy button. If you do not offer this service, right, you're missing out on a huge value. And all you got to do is make the introduction to your client. Doesn't matter if they're renting, whatever, even if it's a temporary setup, like you have somebody that had tenants move out, get them the landlord. They just want the easy button, by the way. This is the easiest process you can do. Just add it to your arsenal of tools to use.
Add it to your phone. I mean, my phone number. Anybody want to?
Come right here on the board.
Okay.
You got to grab it.
Also, like sometimes I kind of know the price is going to change like half day ahead. Sometimes my customer, even though agree to sign up for the high price, but if I know next day is going down, I told them to hold, and then they get a better deal next day. But if tomorrow going up, I told them to hurry up, and then tomorrow is going up. So.
Go, Dale.
Okay, so good morning. Real quickly, talking about what Kathy just spoke about in seller contributions, that will be an opportunity that's going to reemerge. Seller contributions, there are some guidelines as to the maximum amount that the seller can contribute. Those funds can go towards closing costs or prepaid items. If you put on a very high number and the closing costs or those items do not come to that number, you may be leaving money on the table. You've got to get with your lender and discuss, how much do I need to request if we need that? As Kathy was alluding to, seller contributions can buy down the interest rate as far as discount points. We need to look and see, though, is the difference in the rate going to impact their payment more than maybe having that additional money in their pocket because they didn't have to pay closing costs. So we're here. Thank you very much. If we can help, please let us know.
Yeah, all right,
You
good
got it.
stuff. Oh, 2 adds to that, by the way, as a compliance thing is, everything has seller contributions, all that, it has to be lender approved. If for some reason you choose to discount or rebate your commission, right? We probably hear about this once a month in the MCA department, meaning the lender wouldn't approve the buyer's agent kicking back commission, or they only approve to a certain amount. And then you guys come to the office and you want us to cut a check back to the client. That'll never happen from our office. One is a fundamental belief that we don't believe in, but just be clear. So if the concessions, you put it in there, and or you do the rebating commission, that's a whole nother topic. We train not to show up with value. You always have to have, if they're getting finance, lender approval on how much can be paid down. We see it a lot with new construction and builders. And some of the builders won't allow it either. Okay, that's my little kick for there. Okay, anything else that we missed?
Office closure on July 4th.
Oh, yeah. July 4th, we are closed, right? We don't have weekend staff. We don't have anybody in here. So if you choose to work Monday, take a day off, enjoy it. You might need to show a home or something, you need to do it. Enjoy 4th of July. It's one of my favorite holidays. It is hot. We get to blow things up, right? And appreciate it. And just don't forget, no matter what you hear, you live in the greatest country in the world, by the way, and the opportunities and the things that we have is just a great place to be. So give thanks, because people, right, fought for that right for us to be able to have it. Okay, fantastic. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.